All right, I'm here with Phoebus head football coach Jeremy Blunt. It's 29 and counting out for the Phantoms as they beat the Warwick Raiders for the 25th consecutive time with a 10-2 win here. Coach, speak on first the atmosphere. It's 5,000 plus. You played in some great games, Phoebus, Hampton, the rivalry. It's great to see this for high school football. I was actually speaking with longtime public address announcer Bill Nelson. He's like, this is just a cool day for football. Sunny, 80 degrees. What more can you ask for? And you got the win, which is all you wanted for, right?
Tell you what, man, it was hot out here, man. It's late October, man, and the atmosphere was electric during the Saturday noon game. So you couldn't ask for a better environment. Guys enjoyed it. I think both sides kept it real clean. It was not a lot of chippy play today. It's a testament to the coaching staff on both sides. Both teams played very well disciplined, man. And, I was proud that we were able to come out with the victory.
Is that one of the quiet? I mean, there's a lot of pluses in a game like this, but you only had to think 6 flags for 55 yards, and there's been some games where you might have double-digit flags, and it felt like at halftime, nothing. And you knew that could be this type of game with both defenses being so storied and outstanding all year, that your offense didn't blink or panic or force things in the second half. And Davion Roberts today, 24 rushes, I believe that's a season high for 69 yards and gets his 18th touchdown on the campaign.
I tell you what, man, we knew it was going to be a defensive battle today. We knew both defenses were going to come out here and try to prove something. And I love the way my guys stood tall. Our offense continued to run into a wall, and until we broke it down, and where we didn't break it down the entire game, we had our moments, we picked our moments, and we were able to put the 10 points on the scoreboard. So that's what mattered at the end.
You have a bevy of all regional, state level players, and we saw last year a Player of the Year guy in Jordan Bass. You've got one that's probably a candidate this year in Anthony Reddick, the Maryland commit, who did it on both sides of the ball today. Coach, 5 tackles, a sack, a pass breakup, and then talk about his dazzling catch because he can play some tight end too.
Absolutely, man. I mean, the guy's a ball player. He's been doing it since he was 6 years old, man. And he has a whole host of guys that plays right alongside of him. So, it's kind of hard to pick. It's like pick your poison, who you're going to focus on, And as long as our run game and our quarterback play continues to get better, we're going to feel good where we are as we continue to make this march.
Well, and speaking of that, we'll get to your Black Ops defense in a second. I'm not sure your passing game would have had maybe the clutch conversions in week 1 or week 2. We saw you in the opener against Oscar Smith that you did today in the second half, 11 of 19, 146 yards. And granted, there's a couple drops here and there, but against that defense, you have to be pleased with the way you executed when it was crunch time, if you will.
Absolutely. Our guys were focused in on the game plan today. We were going to take what they were giving us, and they have a good front four that likes to put pressure on their linebacker play is very good, and then they have a secondary that can play the game. So, for us, pick your shots, execute it, man, and for us to do what we did second half in the air, that was critical.
Yeah, it was. Well, Reddick tells me it's the Black Ops defense. You've only given up 1 score this year, which we know is a little bit questionable in that Hampton game, but your defense has been outstanding. You have the pressure packages with guys like Reddick and Stevenson on the outside, even up front with Richardson and Anthony, Deshaun Richardson, Nathaniel Anthony. But your linebacker play today, Caleb Tillery, had about 8-9 tackles. I thought he was huge, as well as your secondary to kind of really bottle up their passing game. They averaged 181 yards passing coming in. You limit them to just 5 completions for 57 yards. And there was some chatter a few weeks ago. I don't know if you heard it. Maybe you can comment on it. People said, Warwick's going to test them deep and they're going to strike on them. Did you guys kind of take that challenge and it kind of get your guys a little motivated, angry about it? Or what did you hear?
I tell you what, so our identity defensively, it's an elite unit, so we call ourselves, and it's the Black Ops unit. So the guys were really tuned in on the challenge today. We knew we were facing a team offensively that have been able to move the ball well, get the ball to their weapons, and their weapons make plays happen. Their quarterback play, man, I tell you what, I know the kid threw 2 picks today, man, but I don't think you can find a better guy around here, man. That kid's been doing it for a while, man, and we have a lot of respect for him and what he's been able to do. And I made sure I told him that today because he deserved that respect. So, for us, man, our unit in the secondary, we knew we were going to get challenged and tested. And we knew that was the game plan. They were going to want to control the ball. If they could run it, they were going to run it. But our front 6, they had something to say about that. And I think my back half, our 5 on the back half, man, they did what they were supposed to do. We created 3 turnovers back there.
Yeah, you did. Ricardo Pop under with a big one late. And some other guys that have stepped up into that secondary tradition going back for many, many years here. What happened on that punt play that turned into a safety? I'm sure that was not called for. It just kind of broke down that way. What happened? I know you took one intentionally against Oscar Smith. This was not the case in that spot like this game.
No, I tell you what, I did. It was a calculated call. I called it, and I know most wouldn't agree with it, but I trust my defense over my punt team at that moment.
Okay.
I'm looking at what we had going on, and I won't put that out there, but we had a few injuries that we were dealing with, and one of the most critical injuries, we were dealing with the kid that's got to handle the ball in the beginning, and we saw a rough snap, and that was my concern. So, I made a calculated call right there, and I'll tell you what, I live with it because that's who we are, and I trust that defense to do what they came out and do 4 and out.
Well, and they did it. Quick follow up to that real quick. Does that also help you when you have an 8-point cushion? If it was 7 or 6, you might not have gone for it there. Did that matter at all?
I got to trust my guys. Okay, here again, because of us being up by 10 at that point, I trusted that we could run some additional clock off, that we could put them in a position to have to make a sound decision because we were going to do a certain thing. And, we executed it, man. And they did what they were asked and what they were told. And that's how football goes. Some may question it where it ends up being the best thing for you in the end.
Well, we're not going to question you. 129, so you know what you're doing. You're going for a 3rd state title in a row. Coach, lastly, I felt coming into this game, the big game experience could be the difference. Did you all, as a coaching staff, sense that coming in, and what were sort of the bullet points and message, moments to the group as you geared up for this game? And it's, you're used to these at Phoebus.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we've been hearing the chatter about this matchup since back in January. Realistically, since we played them last September, we've been hearing about this matchup going into this year, and looking at how they were able to build themselves up during the offseason, looking at how we lost some pieces and we had some guys that had to step up and pick up a role this year. I think when they circled this game on their schedule, fans doing what fans do. Fans started making this game, anticipating this game, and it became very exciting, man. So, for us, our big thing was we knew it was going to be an emotional game coming in. You could feel it. You could see all the things that were happening out there on social media, and we kept our kids off of that stuff. We told our kids, just focus on every day. And we had the best week of practice this entire season this week. And I was truly pleased on how my guys handled the emotion of today's game. And no matter what the situation was, they found a way to lock in and execute the moment.
Well, job well done for Coach Jeremy Blunt and the Phoebus Phantoms as they continue their march for a 3-peat. Thank you so much, and all the best.
All right. Thank you, man.